What's up, guys? Eric from Sonic here. We got another Eric here, and we have a special treat for you guys today. We're going to be installing our CS10B camera selector together with our front camera on this 2020 Toyota Corolla hatchback. This is a very special one. It's Benson's car. If you ever seen his Instagram, go ahead and make sure you follow him. Very iconic Corolla with Workmeisters and a full Modellista kit with some air suspension. And this car just has it all, but one thing it's missing is a way to protect its front lip and bumper, because when you're parking the car, a lot of times there's a curb in front, and for a car this slow, there's a big chance that you will damage your front because sometimes you just don't know where the bumper ends. And this is where this comes into play. So let's walk over to the front of the car, and as you can see, look at this beautiful piece, Modellista. You do not want to mess this up. Whether you have a Corolla or you have any other Toyota vehicles or a Lexus, we have the solution for you. And if you have a truck, sometimes when you're off-roading and when you're parking your car, it's very difficult to find the end of your front bumper. You don't want to go too far forward in order to not have to get out of your car to see where your front bumper is. You just need this front camera solution. So we're going to walk you through how to install this front camera and adapter. Very simple, it's plug and play. The most difficult part is going to be the routing of the front camera cable from the inside of the car to the front, and Eric is going to be helping us with that today. So we'll show you exactly how it's done, and let's save your investment. All right, well, let's stop talking, let's go inside the car and get it started. All right, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna route the front camera from the front bumper all the way through the firewall to the driver's side here, through the grommet. So this is the front camera. Let me show you what's inside here. You'll find here, of course, the front camera. And there's a little sticker here, you can remove this. This is a label that just tells you that it's a front camera and not a rear camera. So when it's front camera, the difference between a front camera and rear camera is the rear camera, the image is reversed, right? It's flipped. So when you see it in your screen, it shows you the correct orientation. So same thing for the front. Front is not flipped. So this mounts between the grille. It has a little mount here. It has a bracket attached to it already. So it's very, very easy to mount it on your car. And you have this cable here. This cable will run through the firewall. And on the inside, you'll connect this, okay? This is the part that connects to our camera selector, and we'll get our ground and power from our camera selector harness as well, and this mates right there. And the front camera also comes with a small Allen. You can adjust the little screw here when you're mounting it to the front grille. All right, and Eric will show us how that's done.
All right, if I show you right around the vehicle, especially if you're installing this for the first time popping your hood, it's right here, it's labeled. Just give it a little tug. Some of you may already know how to do this, but right when you reach in the center here, you feel for that little release. And then we'll go ahead and put the hood. So if you look, there's your grommet. Let me go ahead and get my hands dirty and point right over there. See that little rubbery little gasket looking thing there? That's where we're gonna be puncturing right through, right behind all those cables and right behind all those hoses, if you can see that. So what we're gonna do, I have really fat hands, so I can't really reach back there comfortably. I don't wanna get anything damaged or miss an angle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove his battery, which is kind of recommended to do anyways when you're messing with anything electrical in the car. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're just gonna grab a 10 milli here, and then we're just gonna get this one loose, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Right, you don't have to remove it all the way, just right here. You just need to give it a little wiggle free, and it should come right out. Get this out of harm's way, and we'll do the same for the positive. And this right here is a bracket securing the battery just so it doesn't move around. That's a 12 millimeter. All you need to do is loosen that. Once we pop that out, the battery should come free. Make sure we don't lose that. This should come right out. We'll leave that right there. And once that's off, go ahead and muscle that out. Oh. And then we'll set this down in a safe place. I always like to keep it in the same direction just in case you mix up the positive and negative. You never want to do that. Short the whole car. You might kill yourself. And so now we have better access, let me help with the light here, to the piece that we're trying to access, which is right there. Beautiful. What else is connected to that? It's just a bunch of clump of like wires and harnesses and stuff. The last thing you want to do is puncture that. I'm gonna have a better angle from the inside and I'll show you where that is. So looking at it right above the acceleration pedal, you just follow the clump of harnesses right here. There's gonna be a little rubber. You can't miss it. That's exactly what we're gonna be aiming for, and we're gonna be aiming for the side of that, just so that we could get a clean puncture without hitting any of the wires. All right, and once we unwrap this, you will see that there's ample length to make sure that this gets routed to the front. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap the camera. Please note, when you're working with a camera and you are routing it, if you drop it, these are very sensitive cameras, they can break. Last thing you wanna do is have a black screen once you're done installing. We're gonna take off this cover piece right here. So these are easy, just right here. You give it a little wiggle, don't do it too much or you'll break it. Alrighty, perfect. We'll lay this trim piece down here and we're gonna identify where Eric #1 showed us we're gonna route the camera. So what I like to do is I like to just feed the wire through there. And then on the top, if you reach down with your hand, be careful, components in the car are sharp. You wanna go right here and you wanna pull, 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 pull. Alrighty. And then you kind of want to plan where to route it, because the last thing I want to do is just go straight, have it super messy. Find the cluster of harnesses with their wire loom, kind of follow along and plan where you want this to go. So for me, right here, right underneath this metal piece, there's a little opening right here. I'm going to go right in here, have it extended all the way. And now it comes out right here. I'm gonna go underneath, have it extended all the way, and see all the wires here, here, here. Tuck that in there. And it's not long enough. All right. Not to worry, we have the extension. So for the extension, this is what we see right here. This would be connecting to the inside of the vehicle. So with the grommet, I know we entered from the inside. Now I'm thinking it would be better to enter from the outside now that we already have the hole there. Just because this, we found that it was just not long enough to go inside, and we want to make sure that we don't stretch the connection too much. And routing it kind of closer to the engine just doesn't seem like something I want to do. Okay, so you see the red? We followed kind of the hole where it goes. That's where we're going to be looking to go through, right at the side of the grommet there. And then if you look inside, this part is going to fit right through there. Just tape it through and you pull it, and this part should come out with it. Hopefully that tape holds there. I'm going to pull it through slowly and carefully. See if we could fish that out through the other side. Careful, careful, careful. Pull, pull, pull. And I feel it. I feel it. And great success. I'll remove the tape, kind of show you what I did. If you have one of these, get it on Amazon. That's like $6. It's designed specifically for piercing through the grommet and the firewall. And it has a little opening here so that you could put the other end of your harness through and tape it just to secure it and get it out a little bit easier. So now I'm going to remove the tape. And now that we have it extended, all right, we have our connection points right here. So what we want to do is there's a hole and a hole here. There's only one way to connect it. You can't go wrong with it. Alrighty. And once that's fully in, I like to wrap a little bit of electric tape around there. I do also like to leave a little bit of slack just in case, and I want to kind of have this somewhere a little bit easily accessible in case we do have to troubleshoot this later. So I know this top section comes off, and so I'll have it connected right here to this harness, just like that. We just want to give it a little wrap, and we want to start cleaning up with some wire management. So this one is coming out, and as I mentioned, I am going to be connecting it right here. I'll do it behind, right there. I'll give it a little snip, snip, snip. Alrighty. Then, as mentioned, we went behind the fuse box, and underneath we found a cluster of wire loom. This is one of my favorite things to encounter. It means that wires are already going that way. It's already safe. Alrighty. And then from there, I want to follow along a little bit more. There is a little stop right there and a little like cavity well down there. So you want to just lift it, give it a little finger up, and then the other end of your zip tie should just come straight through. Doesn't damage anything, don't worry about it. These Japanese cars are built to last. So this is just to get everything out of the way, everything as clean as possible. There's a factory zip tie there, so we'll put an aftermarket zip tie where the factory zip tie is. Right over there, do you see that? Factory zip tie. Now, we follow it here, and if I notice, I always like to check the front of the grill. He doesn't have too much visibility, but if you look down here, you see that wire sticking out. Some people get a little bit more particular with that, especially having such a heavily modded car such as this one. You always want to make sure that if you could still see it, kind of tuck it with the harness. Now, if there are some angles that are harder to reach, don't tighten it all the way. Just get a couple clicks in and just slide it down. I know Ben wouldn't mind, but I know he'd appreciate the extra effort to keeping his installs as clean as possible. He loves his car more than he loves eating dinner. And now if we look back down here, here's the camera that we protected. Push this in a little bit. We could always get that later and clean that up, don't worry. And right here would be the angle. We won't tighten it too much all the way just because we need visual confirmation that it is straight. I'll move it a little bit to the left. Right there. Yeah, that looks centered. Okay. And I won't tighten it all the way yet, just to make sure that it doesn't move for now until we're able to test what it looks like. Alrighty, that completes my side. We're just gonna do reverse order on the battery, and then we'll go over to Eric number 1 to show you what he did on the inside.
All right, guys, well, the other Eric was routing the front camera. I went and connected our CS10B module. So if you open the harness, what it comes with is this camera selector, okay? And it has these 2 harnesses attached to it. It's labeled A and B, all right? So we connected these 2 connectors here, one connector here, this is another connector. This one is for your switch, all right? And the switch was routed over here. I'll show you that in a moment. And how we connect these RCA cables, there's 3 RCA cables. 2 of them are gonna be connected to this piece, the connector B, and the straight part will connect to output. The curved part, the L-shaped one, will connect to backup cam. So basically the factory backup camera comes out and then it outputs to the screen. And we also have the front camera already connected. So this is from the front camera that Eric routed to the front bumper. We got it all the way over here through the grommet, through the firewall, caught it down there, and we routed it all the way up here and organized the wire a bit using some electric tape. So there's an opening there, and in order to get there, we did drop the under panel here. It's just 2 Phillips screws. All right, so very easy to disconnect. And while we're doing that, we also dropped this side panel. All being held by clay, just pop it. And once we have this removed, we used one of these, the mounting brackets for our button. And we popped it off from the back side, just push and pop out. And when you pop it out, it's basically going to look like this. All right, so it just pops out from the back. And then we put the camera through the open hole. All right, so let me show you. Okay, we put it through the hole and then routed the cable. Make sure you route this button through this hole first. Do not route from the radio to here, because you're not going to be able to fit it in here, because the opening is not large enough for the button to go through. So it's important that you first place the cable harness through that little opening, push it in here, okay, and then route the rest. All right, so Ben's car now has 2 of these. The first one is to turn on and off our amplifier for demonstration purpose. This one is going to be for the front camera. So we have this routed, and everything's coming to the back of the radio here. All right, so once we're behind the radio, all that's left is to connect these connectors behind the radio, and let me show you how to do so. There's the power wire, accessory wire. There's also the ground wire that powers the front camera. I went and connected it to the power accessory on the harness. This is the red wire, and also the black wire is the ground on the harness, okay? And how did I find out that that's the power accessory and ground? Because it's marked right here. We got the ACC power accessory and ground, and that's the red and the black. So using these pulsey taps, we connected it here. If you want to connect using some splicing, you can do so as well. So just depending on what hardware you have. So you just connected it like so. Pulsey taps very easy. Just screw it on one side and screw the other side, the wire that we're tapping. But when you're using these pulsey taps, just make sure, double confirm that the piercing actually went through to the hole, okay? So just unscrew and then just check to make sure it pierced through, because sometimes it doesn't. So I'm going to organize all this with some electric tape later. But before I do so, let me just make sure everything's working. So Eric is over there reconnecting the battery, and while he's doing that, I'm gonna connect this. So going back here, this car already has the amplifier installed, so it has this connector that's already being used. So it's going to daisy chain with it, okay? So it's these 2 connectors we're gonna be working on. This one and this one right next to it. Just to get to it easier, let's disconnect these 2 connectors. All right, and it doesn't matter if we disconnect it here or here. All right, let's also disconnect this. Okay, always push down on the release tab and pull out on the connector. Okay, like so, and then here, I'll just disconnect it here. Okay, like so, and let me reconnect these. So this is connector B, this is connector A. All right, so we got the connector B. It helps if you have a thick towel here, because you don't want the brackets touching your dash. And here for that click, okay, must make that clicking sound. All right, and then the other side here, we'll connect to our connector A. All right, another side will connect back to the radio. Okay, all plug and play. And then we reconnect all the factory connectors here, and we're going to test it before we clean up all the wires. All right, so let me just set this here for now. Temporarily, everything's connected. Let's turn on the car. Okay, here it is. Let's press the button. And there it is, front cam. Oh, perfect mounting. Look at that.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, perfect mounting location. Press once, front camera. Press another time, the rear camera. Press again, goes back to the factory mode. All right, terrific. Everything's working as it should. All right, so yeah, everything's on right. So Eric's gonna go in the front and tighten up the Allen screw to make sure the front camera stays put. We're gonna organize the wires, reverse order everything we just did, and re-screw these back on, and that will complete the installation. So, oh, by the way, I didn't show you guys how to remove the radio on here. We will timestamp a link so that you guys could know how. But if you don't want to go there, just really simple, 4 10mm bolts here, one's facing up. So you gotta just duck your head down to find it. And all these other parts here just comes off, it's all clips. And there's 2 connectors that you have to remove behind it. This panel that surrounds the radio also just comes off with a clip. So very, very easy. All right, so let me tidy up the wires, add some more tape to it, and then Eric's going to finish off in the front, and that will complete the installation. And when you guys are organizing these wires, make sure none of it is blocking the vents. It is a little tight fit because we have a lot of wires back there, but it shouldn't cause any issues. All right, guys, well, that's it. 2 people, we got it done in a little bit less than an hour. If you do it yourself, expect to take about 3 hours. But it's always a good idea to just open up your schedule if you're doing this as your personal project. So one more time, let me do a quick demonstration here. With the car on, your reverse camera will work normally. So when you put your car into reverse gear, the car will show reverse gear. And when you're driving and you're about to park your car, press it once, shows me the front camera. And as you can tell, it tells you exactly where your front bumper ends. So you could be confident that you're not gonna hit anything from your front lip. There's a default timer on there. Once the timer goes off, it will go back to your factory screen. You can adjust the timer to other settings if you like, and you can make it so that it stays on the front camera mode until you press the button again if you want it to always just stay on. And while you're driving, if you press the button twice, you can also show your rear backup camera while you're driving. Say that your inside of your car is all full of stuff, you cannot see from your rear view mirror. You can turn on your backup camera so that you can see whatever is behind you. And there's also a function on this you could turn on and off. If your car is slowing down to parking lot speeds, the front camera will turn on automatically so that when you're parking, you do not always have to look for the button to push. Instead, you could just have the screen switch over to the front camera automatically as you park your vehicle. So that becomes pretty convenient as well. So a little device with a lot of functions, very, very useful. You'll save a lot of money in the long run. You'll save your front lip from getting broken, cracking, any damage, because fixing those front lip can be very costly. So why not just have the insurance of just being able to see what's in front of your car so that you don't do any of that. You don't damage your car because, you know, you work so hard to buy your car and you worked even harder to fix it up. So let's keep it clean. Let's keep it undamaged so that you'll be able to enjoy your car long run, have less stress. All right, guys, well, that concludes our installation demonstration of our CS10B along with our B-Cam 11A combination on this 2020 Toyota Corolla hatchback. The same exact combo is compatible with other Toyota models in the same generation as well, which includes the trucks, the SUVs, the sedans. It's all compatible. Just make sure you visit bsonicusa.com for the most updated compatibility list. Well, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it, guys. Give us that like if you want to help us out, and hit that subscribe button for more cool content in the future. Thank you very much. See you guys on the next video.
Look, I don't take no loss, it's simple. Stand up, guy, want 10 toes.